Hi, this is Al from Robotics. I'm back with an update. So, my ebb and flow system seems to be working just fine, except this is a 43 liter tank, and the blow is only a 45. So, it's very close to exposing the pump when it's running before it starts the siphoning. The siphoning is, it functions beautifully, even though the pipe actually ends below the surface of the water. It still pushes out the air and then starts to siphon anyway. I would have expected that bit of resistance would have maybe stopped it, but no, works just fine, perfect, and it's very quick too. But there's too little water in this reservoir to comfortably sort of walk away from it. So what I'm going to do is basically I've just bought an extra tank, exactly the same type, very cheap. It's maybe $10, $15 maybe, local hardware store. And I bought a small one as well, to sit on top, just because buying a frame to raise it all up would cost an arm and a leg. So I figured, why not get one here? I can then raise it up a little bit more, have a little bit more of a drop, raise the grow bed up a little bit. I've cut it through holes so I can actually deal with the pump, etc., which is, as you can see, is kind of difficult here. I can't actually get my hand in there, so that wasn't exactly well thought through. But this should help a lot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this tank by making a siphon. So I'll make a siphon that basically just goes with a 1-inch tube through here. It's going to go down into the other tank, and I'll just put a lid on it. That way, if the water falls below what the other is, it will, the pressure will basically seek to find an equilibrium, and it will even itself out. So I'll be able to use both tanks as if they were one. Basically, it's the same thing that I was going to do with the other system. So it's going to be 2 by 98 liter reservoirs going on. Another thing I noticed, and this is quite interesting, I had my small 7-watt pump, which takes quite a while to fill up this 43 liter grow bed. But it turns out I bought this teeny tiny 5-watt or so pump that runs on solar power. I put up the I'll show you later, but basically it's a very, very small pump. I mean, it's really, really small. I was thinking it's never going to work. Just so it turns out that on a day like today, and it's actually clouded today, it's not direct sunlight, it still gives maybe 500 liters per minute. The other gives only 400. So these two combined should help fill this up in maybe 10 minutes max. The solar power one will fill it up in maybe 5-10 minutes, I think. Combined, we'll see, it should go down considerably. I'll try and time it. We'll find out and see. But I think this should be plenty enough. And again, remember, there's 2 air stones sitting in the bottom here, so even if it takes a while to fill up, the roots are still going to be aerated below. I've made a small power box so I can have my electric sitting outside, but it's not big enough, so I bought a bigger one, just so I can pack everything away and not have to worry when it starts raining. That is going to be tied together with the other system at the end here. So, yep, that's it this time. Questions, comments, ideas, please let me know, and see how that goes. Here we are. I've created this 1-inch siphon. Basically this lid goes on here. So once everything is set up, there we go. And it will go in here like this. And it'll just sit there and just make sure that there's equilibrium between the two of them. This is not just for increasing my tank reservoir size. There's a couple of other advantages to it. It works as a heat sink. The more water you have, basically becomes a deep water culture. In that you won't have too much of a swing on your pH scale, so it stays basically more stable, I suppose. And if you're like me, you little by little you want to expand, you can just basically add. There shouldn't be any limits to how many of these you can do. You can just basically add them all along on both sides if you wanted to have a bigger and bigger tank. Another thing is, most people that make these reservoirs, they have a clever way of putting in a valve at the bottom so they can empty them out. I don't actually have that. I've been considering maybe I should just get that, just because it's, you know, clever for maintenance purposes. But then I thought, well, hey, that should work just fine. So let's try get the air out of this. Possible to do this. And it started. And I think that should probably work just fine. Now I'll just clear out the water from this one because it's quite dirty. There's quite a bit of debris from all of me sawing all the plastic here. I don't want that to gunk up the pump. One of the issues I have is that there's so little workspace here that no matter what I do, all the dust and all the plastic bits and pieces end up in my tanks, which is obviously not what we want. So I'm just gonna clean out this a bit, and I think this will be enough. Obviously I don't want to have to go back at some point. I think that should be enough. Actually, I think I've got the bigger bumps at the bottom. So I don't know, maybe I should put in a valve at the bottom of these. Obviously once this gets started I don't want to go back and have to do it, but yeah, maybe that's a good idea. What do you think? Questions, comments, ideas? Put them at the bottom of this video. You know what to do. Please like and subscribe to see where this is going, and I'll catch you next time.